There are lots of graying people with wrinkles in TV ads these days. You see, most of the time, all the corporations that are advertising on TV are employing young-looking, handsome or beautiful actors to sell us their products. But once a year, just for a few weeks in November and early December, out of the sudden, our TV screens are filled with seniors, people with wrinkles, with dark circles under their eyes, and with gray hair. Why? All the insurance companies want our seniors to buy their Medicare supplemental plans. And so just once a year, just for these particular few weeks in November and early December, people that we pretended to be invisible and totally absent from our TVs are talking to us all the time that we should buy that particular Medicare plan. It's really strange, and it hit me just a few days ago when I realized that I never see these aging and older actors but once a year. That all other time, the only people trying to sell us something on TV are very young, are very handsome, full of Botox filling, and they, not the seniors with wrinkles and gray hair, are selling us their products. Once a year, the roles are changing. Once a year, people who are invisible are becoming actors and sellers. Unfortunately, there are many more invisible people in our societies. Yes, our seniors, people with wrinkles and gray hair are one of them. But there are so many other kinds of people that we pretend we do not see, that we prefer not to see and notice. There are the immigrants, yes, even the undocumented immigrants. There are people who don't talk or behave or listen to the same music that we do. There are people who are sick and dying that we don't prefer to see or talk about. There are people who voted the wrong way that we would rather not associate with. And the list is growing longer and longer every year. All kinds of people that the modern society and the prevailing majority would prefer not to deal with on a daily basis. Now, this weekend, we are celebrating the solemnity of Christ the King. But the readings, instead of talking about any king, they speak to us about God who is like a shepherd, not a king. In the first reading from the prophet Ezekiel, the prophet is describing God who will be shepherding us with gentle and loving care. Moreover, that good shepherd will notice and provide the care to those sheep who are not in the majority, to those who are injured, to those who are strayed, to the sick. But the sleek and the strong will not be shepherd's priority. You see, the vision of Ezekiel is providing us with a better understanding of who God is and who God cares about. It is not the young and the healthy, the sleek and the strong that are the pupil of God's eye. No. God the shepherd sees, notices, and comes forward with help and love to those that strayed, to those who are injured, to those who are sick, to those that are otherwise invisible. In the beautiful gospel passage from the 25th chapter of Matthew, Jesus himself is presenting us with a vision of the last judgment. And once again, we have a situation with sheep and the shepherd. The shepherd, who sometimes is also called a king, is giving us a good clue as to how we all will be judged. The shepherd separates the sheep into two categories, and then he tells us what is the way by which he will judge us, how we will be separated between those on the right and those on the left. The shepherd or the king says, I was hungry and you gave me something to eat. I was thirsty and you gave me something to drink. I was a stranger or an immigrant or a refugee, and you welcomed me in your midst. I was naked, and you clothed me. I was ill, and you cared for me. I was in prison, and instead of judging and condemning me, you visited me. Matthew makes Jesus give us very clear vision of who really matters to God and of who really should matter to us. It is not the mighty and the powerful. It is not those who are rich, healthy, and young. It is not those that we see day after day on our TV screens. It is the people that we see only once a year when it's time to sign up for a Medicare plan. It is the elderly. It is the sick. It is the wrinkled, the graying, those that otherwise are invisible. The shepherd tells us that we need to focus our attention, our service, and our love not on those whom the world judges important, but on those who are important in God's eyes. This weekend, we are blessed to have a new deacon in our midst. Just yesterday, Jonathan, our friend and parishioner, was ordained to the Sacred Order of Deacons. And deacon means the one sent to serve. To be a deacon means to see the people that otherwise are unseen, that for many other people are invisible. To be a deacon and to be a Christian, it means to notice those who are hungry, to realize that there are strangers and immigrants in our midst that need to be welcomed and embraced. To be a deacon and to be a Christian, it means to care for the ill and not judge, but accompany those who are in prison or perhaps made a mistake. To be a deacon, to be a Christian, it means to see those who are invisible. Amen.